single chip microprocessor.
Supercomputers like this Cray and Google site Wikipedia.
Things like Facebook.
Calling it iPhone.
Place item in the bagging area.
This is what, son?
Will artificial intelligence replace engineers? In this episode, we take a look into how artificial intelligent machines are replacing engineers across the world. When OpenAI released the Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3, GPT-3, language generator in June 2020, many were shocked. The artificial intelligence, AI, program, was able to produce pieces of writing indistinguishable from those created by quite skilled human writers. Many asked whether the emergence of such programs spelled the end of journalism as a human profession. There are other disciplines previously reserved for talented humans that today's AI can comfortably tackle. In engineering, architecture and design, a new type of AI-based software emerged, capable of creating a multitude of solutions to a problem in a short period based on predefined criteria. The components that AI designs today are so far of a rather basic nature: brackets, housings, forks and support structures. The goal is to help engineers work faster and make them more efficient, according to Paul Hames, VP at Digital Services and Internet of Things company PTC, which develops generative design solutions. But what is going to happen next? Generative design builds on the heritage of CAD but takes away the iterative process from the desktop of the engineer and puts it into the cloud environment. We are allowing the computer to do the iterative work that previously would have been done by the engineers. The engineers get a range of options to choose from, but it's still the engineer who is making the decision. Hames says that, thanks to the speed at which the computer produces the iterations, the resulting product is better optimized. It's not an automated process, it's assisted, says Hames. In the future, we will continue to include more and more design goals, but there will always be a role for the engineers. We are not replacing them. New opportunities spawned by the expected growth of the AI industry will eventually outnumber the jobs that will be lost. Head of AI and Machine Learning, Kate Firth Butterfield, agrees that not all technical professions will be spared. It's getting much more important to get into more complex roles, because the computers will be more and more able to do the basics, says Firth Butterfield. There will always be opportunities for people who have a PhD, people who are thinking about new ways of developing tools or starting businesses that will use AI to solve various problems. Those jobs will survive. Jobs that involve basic coding probably not so much. Ultimately, Firth Butterfield believes, AI will usher in the golden age when engineers will be able to focus on the fun things. Not even 40 years ago, we needed draftsmen to draw technical drawings. That's all automated now. But we now need a lot of software developers and engineers who are freed from drawing and copying and able to consider the more high-level issues. Jobs transform in response to what's going on societally, and that's good. It's going to make society safer and jobs more fulfilling. However, cautions that the profession cannot sit around and wait for things to change. It must proactively prepare for the AI-driven future and make training in data-centric sciences a cornerstone of engineering education. One day, AI will get so good that it will be able to take over the creative design process completely. It will be able to further develop itself, making all data scientists who train and develop it today redundant. But this moment still seems quite far in the future. Deep learning is incredibly powerful for very specific problems. It's good for simple, very constrained types of designs. But for the more generic, mental-level problems such as creative design, there is still quite a way to go. The slow progress, says Firth Butterfield, is largely owing to the shortage of computer scientists capable of developing AI algorithms and training the machines. Ironically, she adds, to become an AI developer may not be the safest career choice. Come 2030, 2040, those people are all going to be looking for new jobs because AI will be able to do their job itself. Hames doesn't expect AI to overtake the engineering sector anytime soon. In fact, he says, despite engineers' propensity for new technology and assumed geekiness, the profession might be among the last to embrace this innovation. Engineers are very data-driven people. They want to know whether the technology has been proven to work, says Hames. They want to be able to understand what's happening in the background and whether they can trust the system. They are not going to commit to it unless they have a full evaluation of how it works, and it's proven that it's successful. The engineering community is particularly concerned about the fact that current AI applications run in the cloud. The companies don't have control over the systems and data centers, and prefer not to take security risks with their intellectual property. Engineering and manufacturing is probably one of the last industries to truly embrace cloud. That will change over the next 10 years. And that's also the time frame in which I expect generative design to really get into the mainstream adoption phase and become embedded in most CAD applications. When it comes to the future of AI, Firth Butterfield believes that it is in the hands of the humans who are developing it today. AI doesn't need to replace musicians, writers, painters, or engineers if humans don't want it to. Technically, AI will one day reach the point where it can replace engineers, designers, and architects, but it's up to us to decide what we want to use it for. And I suggest we should focus on using it on solving some really painful issues that we face, such as curing diseases, rather than taking away the jobs of engineers, architects, or journalists. So, how do you feel about artificial intelligence finding its way into these roles? Will artificial intelligence soon take over all jobs? Let me know down in the comments, guys. And remember to like and subscribe for more artificial news. Until next time, guys, have a great day.